Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got the 2023, yes, you heard me right, iX M60. This one is in Oxide Gray, and it's been quite an adventure to get this car actually to the dealership. So this was either the first or the second iX M60 allocation we received way back in April of 2022. So went in production and finished production, I believe, in June of 2022, and then spent 3 months waiting in Bremerhaven in Germany, waiting for a boat. Finally got on a boat way back in October and arrived in California, in Oxide, in November of 2022. And then series of stop sales for various different things. It was finally released to us and arrived, I believe, August 1st, 2023. So a very long time to receive this build, which we built for store inventory. And Oxide Gray, I think, is a really good color. And we'll go over the details of this iX M60, a fantastic vehicle. You may or may not like the front end, but I think it's a really good vehicle. Very comfortable, and also, of course, in this case, extremely powerful. Let's go over this particular spec. So you can see laser lights. You can see the blue highlight right there, indicating laser lights. And our front grille has all the sensors right in the middle there. So even if you don't spec Driving Assistance Pro, you could get Driving Assistance Plus on your vehicle. This one happens to have that package. And of course, Sport package by default. So that Sport package on the iX changes the front bumper. You can see those arrow intakes for like the black triangle thing going on there. From the front end, that's how you distinguish it. And over on the side, we have style 1023M wheels with a bronze highlight and the M Sport calipers in blue. Notice these ones are labeled with the M label on it. We have the floating center caps as well. So the bronze trim, at least on the wheels, goes somewhat with the titanium bronze trim on the exterior. And Oxide Gray, a really good color. So it did appear on the M3, I think, for just one model year. So it's a gray with some gold undertones. And we chose the titanium bronze trim to sort of complement that idea on the outside. Something a fairly unique look on an iX M60. Then moving out back, we have our iX badging and M60 badging, basically black and gold, so gold outlines on the badging. Our gigantic roundel with a camera built into it. Take a step back and take in the 3/4 view. I think it's pretty decent looking. Obviously, looks are very subjective, but this is a very fine vehicle. And of course, built on the bespoke chassis, the i20 chassis, which is only for the iX. So it's not based on any other production car, let's say like the i7 or the i4, or nowadays the i5. So all right, let's go ahead and take a look at the inside, go over pricing and options. So the titanium bronze trim obviously goes along the bottom here. Also on the door handles, this is going to be black. I think I have a pretty good look against Oxide Gray. Then opening up, we have the Castanea chestnut leather. So all sort of like a burgundy color, which again works really well against Oxide Gray, sort of that classic silver and red look. All right, so that born on date, you can see June of 2022. So 1 year and 2 months and change from production being completed to getting it to our store. So a crazy long delay. See, iX M60 at the time came standard, I think it still does, with the Bowers Wilkins sound system. 30 speakers, and I think it's like 1500 amps of power for your stereo system. All right, so on the inside, let me start this up. For a very unique steering wheel, unique to the iX. Very interesting shape. I think it's really comfortable in driving and also gives you a nice view of the iDrive 8 instrument cluster. And heads-up display is standard on this one. Hopefully you guys can see that. This one will not receive iDrive 8.5 because it was built so long ago it doesn't have the correct head unit. Mr. iDrive 8 curved display. This also has a luxury package, so it's got the glass controls as well as the wood on the center console area. iDrive selector nub, all your quick access buttons for my modes, driving settings, etc. So starting price of the 2023 iX M60, $108,900. Metallic paint included. The leather, which is olive oil based or olive extract based, $3,500. $1,900 for the driving assistance pro package. I believe that has increased to $2,300 now, which does include the highway assistant. Again, not available on the 2023. Luxury package for $1,150. 22-inch wheels adds another $950. BMW individual titanium bronze trim on the exterior, $500. Again, so old it's got some credits for some options that disappeared. So in this case, $100 credit for the deletion of the hands-free tailgate, so no kick to open on this one. And then $175 credit for just the passenger lumbar delete. And floating hubcaps were added. $117,780 for this particular example. All right, let's take a look at the back seat. Go over a few more details on this one. So again, no comfort access on the back here. And opening up, very nice door opening size. And then of course the rear passenger spacing is fantastic. So here's a view from the back seat in our panoramic sky lounge, if you will. I think it's actually called the sky lounge, but it's electrochromatic, just like on the 787 Dreamliner windows. So touch a button up there will make this less opaque or more opaque. And climate control zone in the back here, it's 2-zone. Then we've got plenty of knee room and leg room. And headroom, not an issue whatsoever in the This is a very comfortable vehicle. And you've got 2 USB-C charging ports on each seat in front of the rear passengers. So a pretty nice place. It's very comfortable. Then you've got our ambient lighting back there. Of course, 30 speakers, which includes some speakers up here above the rear passengers. You can see it, that speaker right there. But fantastic place to sit. Very smooth ride. It does have air suspension, and do note that air suspension is back on the iX50 as an option. All right, so let's go to the back. Again, no kick to open, so we got to use the old-fashioned means of opening up the cargo area. So pretty decent size. You have plenty of room in the back here. So on the left-hand side, you can see that mobility kit. That's the air compressor at the top there. The seats do fold down as well. You can see you'll have to find the controls over here on the right and left side to fold those seats down. You do have a flexible fast charger, which now you can have an optional bag just like on the XM. I think it's like $250 or so. So we've put that in a few cars coming in just to see how that's going to look. But charging times for the 105.2 net kilowatt hour battery, so about 12 hours on level 2 charging, and level 3 DC fast charging, fastest possible times for the 195 kilowatt charger. It's going to be about 35 minutes from 10 to 80%. So when talking about horsepower and torque, it's crazy. So 611 horsepower, which obviously is not the most powerful BMW, but the torque figure is 811 torques in sport mode. Crazy figures. So this car can really, really move. It's got pretty decent range. I think the EPA estimate is about 288 miles, and with the 22-inch wheels, which we have, you're looking at about 274, 275, somewhere in that range. And of course, you can do better than that based upon your driving styles, but given the power and torque on hand, it's going to be pretty tempting to use that and just see how crazy fast and quick this car is. I should also note there are lease credits for the iX now, nearly $10,000 lease credit. I'm sure you'll find many dealers, perhaps including us, that will discount the cars as well just to move them. So if you're on the fence about the iX, so if you're in the market for an electric SUV, or SAV as B&W calls it, the iX might make a really good choice given how roomy it is and how comfortable it is to drive. Of course, in this case, how powerful it is. So there are some pretty good deals to be had. But that's it for a tour around the iX M60, and we'll see you at the next video.